Hello and welcome back to my studio. Session number 3 today, we're doing upper body strength. So Pilates for upper body strength. Now the session itself is going to be a bit shorter because we do burn out a bit faster through the upper body. So I'm going to put in a little bit of stretching at the start, opening up through the hips, quads, hamstrings, glutes, everything that we've sort of been using in the past few days. And we're going to do a nice long stretch through the upper body at the end. So starting off, let's grab your mats. Towel, whatever it is you like to use, just something comfortable. First thing we're going to do is open up in the hips. All right, so we're going to bring our feet together, base of the feet together, grabbing onto the ankles, the toes, the shins, whatever we can reach. Remember, it's not a competition. It doesn't matter if you can't do what I can do, as long as everything feels okay and there's no pain or anything coming into the joints. So we're going to extend the arms, pull the shoulder blades down and back, reach the chest up nice and tall. So think about sternum pointing up towards the ceiling. Whenever we stretch through the lower body, it's really important what the hips are doing. So I'll just show you some differences here. So in the stretch from the side, this is me, chest pointed down and some curve through my spine, or flexion through my spine. Now my hips are tucked under, my hips are doing this. They're tucking under and I've got almost no stretch happening. Now all I have to do, lengthen through the spine, point my chest up, my sternum is now pointing up, and immediately I have got a great stretch through my hips and my inner thigh. So whenever we're stretching, always think, what are your hips doing? Make sure that everything is at least neutral. So we're thinking neutral spine. We want to avoid tucking under when we're trying to get stuff happening in the hips. Some stretches we do want to tuck under, but I will point that out when we get there. So pushing the chest up to the ceiling, we're going to slide the feet away from the body, grab to the ankles, chest up nice and high, inhale, breath, exhale. Let's pull our chest down towards the feet. Again, we don't have to push ourselves too far. All we're doing here is just trying to change the stretch now into the outer hips. So opening up through the hips, getting them nice and limber. Lovely, coming back. Now we're going into a stretch into the glute med, sort of piriformis, deep hip rotators in the back. So we've got two options here. One is leg out straight. This foot comes over and we grab or hook onto our knee with the opposite arm. So my right knee is bent up, so my left arm grabs onto that knee and we rotate our chest. So we're rotating our body so that we're facing that leg. Now, if this is okay and you're getting a good stretch, then hold it here. But if you'd like to increase the stretch, what you can do is bend this bottom leg. So my left leg is bent now, so my heel is next to my hip. My right foot comes over again. So foot's flat on the floor, hooking that knee, rotating the chest, and sitting up nice and tall. Remember, sternum pointing up to the ceiling, and this is opening up in my hip rotators. So my piriformis, my glute min, my gluteus minimus, which is just one of your small glute muscles. And breathing through this one, making sure you're always breathing the stretch. And we're going to let go. We don't want to hold for too long while we're doing our warming up or getting ready for sessions. So same thing, either leg out straight at the bottom, coming into the stretch, or bending that bottom leg so that our heel is next to our hip. Top leg comes over on top, just next to the knee there, hooking the elbow, rotating. So make sure your chest is rotating towards the bent leg. So sometimes people get confused and go this way, away from the bent leg. You're not going to get much going on here. You might open up in this hip. We want to get it happening in the glute. So right in the back of the hip. Keep breathing through the stretch. Lovely. All right, the hips have had a nice little bit of an open. Now we're going to open up through the upper body. We are doing upper body today. Opening up through the chest and shoulders. So we're going to come into extended child's pose. Toes come together, big toes come together. Knees out nice and wide. And we're going to bring the hands out in front. Reaching through. So this is an active stretch. We want our fingertips to slider into the mat. Imagine trying to sort of suction cap your palm into the mat. And we're extending through the arms, through the shoulder blades, letting everything lengthen. What we can do is do a little rock from side to side. So this will just localize the stretch into one side of the body. And we're going to walk the hands forward now until our hips are above our knees. Our knees come back together so they're about, our legs are parallel. Hands go out further in front. We're going to go into a puppy pose. So this one's really going to open up through the chest and shoulders. Okay, if you can't do this, just regress it back. So regress it back a little bit. You can move the hips back a little bit. But all we're trying to do here is really just open up through the shoulders. Again, breathing. Nice, and let's walk up out of that one. So our shoulders should feel nice and open. Our chest is nice and open. We're going to go straight, or we're going to start in our 4-point kneeling position. So that's a little bit different to what we've done recently, just because I want to sort of mix it up and keep you thinking and guessing. So 4-point kneeling position. We're going to go through our upper body setup here because this is really important. So anything we do here, we should be getting work in the upper body. We should be feeling it in the shoulder blade, feeling it in the triceps, and feeling it in the chest, stabilising ourselves in this position. Okay, it's really, really easy. Like I've said before, it's really, really easy in that position just to lock off and collapse and rest. So this is just completely skeletal system here. There's a bit of muscle work, obviously, but this is a lot of skeletal system. As soon as I do this as well, my abs want to turn off and my belly wants to sink. My belly just wants to sink down. So I'm really going to reiterate the activation through the upper body when we're in this kneeling position. Same with planks and anything when we're prone, sort of bracing. In Pilates, we've always got a lot of concentration points and a lot of things that we need to focus on. So let's set ourselves up, wrists directly below the shoulder. We want our knees directly below the hips. Okay, hands are shoulder width apart, knees are hip distance apart. Toes are untucked or tucked. Again, remember that's up to you. If you tuck the toes, sometimes it can take some pressure off the knees. So I'll leave that one up to you. Now, let's go through our setup. Same thing with the fingers on the mat. So I want you to push down through the fingertips and imagine that you are trying to suction cap your palm into the mat. So it's really active movement. This does a few things. It starts getting the forearms working, so it actually strengthens through your forearms. It also strengthens through the shoulders. It keeps your arms active, so it keeps the muscles around your wrists active, and it will eventually build stronger wrists, meaning you can withstand more time in this position. Now, if you do have really sore wrists or struggle with wrists, what you can do is roll your mat up a couple of times. Put your hand right on the edge, so the middle of your palm is at the edge of the folded part of your mat. And what that does is reduces the angle at the wrist and it takes some of the pressure off. Okay, so that's one of the options you can do if you do get really sore wrists. You can do the same thing with the towel. Okay, another option obviously is to come up onto the fist, but I really would encourage you to do as much as you can here so that we start to strengthen the muscles around the wrists and get them much more durable and stronger in this position. So, spider clawing the fingers into the mat. We are soft in the elbows, we're not locked out and we're not bent. We are just soft. So we're not sort of like trying to hold ourselves in this bent sort of half push-up position. We're keeping that little bit of sort of half activation or half locking there, but we're not fully locking out so that we rest. Pushing up through the shoulder blades, so imagine you're trying to push your upper spine up and out of your back, and you're tensing under the armpits. So this is kind of like, I've used the cue for this before as an angry bulldog. So angry bulldog sort of sits like this. So you've got this active lats. Your lats are switched on around your shoulder blades. Your rotator cuff is working well to keep you here, so they're stabilising in the shoulder joint. Your shoulders are working to keep you pushed up. Your chest is working. Your triceps are working. Your forearms are working. So everything, pretty much from here onwards, all of this is doing something, and that's what we want. If you're going to be doing something, you may as well get the most out of it. So, pushing up through the shoulder blades, tensing under the armpits as if you're an angry bulldog. Get the body set up. We're in a neutral spine, and we're going to do shoulder, scapular push-ups to start. So let's get the T-zone switched on. Remember, always having the T-zone tight. We're going to inhale as we sink through the shoulder blades, just as I told you not to do. So we're sinking through the shoulder blades. Exhale, push up, angry bulldog. Inhale to sink down through the shoulder blades. Arms stay straight. Exhale, push up, angry bulldog. Inhale to sink down through the shoulder blades, letting them relax. Arms stay straight. This is the key. Keep the arms straight. Exhale, pushing up into angry bulldog. And let's do another one. Inhale as we sink down. Exhale as we press up into our angry bulldog. So now we're going to hold this here and we're going to stay in our angry bulldog position. You should already feel your arms and your chest and your shoulders working. Now we're going to go into alternate arm floats. Now this is going to increase range and sort of start using our core a bit more as well. So inhale, breath, T-zone. Exhale, float the left hand up overhead and brace with your core. Inhale to float down, changing sides. Reset yourself up every time. Inhale, lift up overhead. Exhale to lower down. Sorry, I'm going to change that breath over. So we exhale to sweep the hand up overhead, keeping that core nice and tight, keeping the shoulder blade away from the ear. Inhale as we come down, switch sides. Every time, rebrace. Exhale to sweep the hand up overhead. Inhale to return and change sides. Rebrace that arm. Exhale to sweep up overhead. Inhale to return the arm. Let's keep going with that. Now, every time we do it, I want you to re-engage this arm. So, you know, thinking about the angry bulldog, every single time we swap over. What this is doing is teaching our body to engage those muscles as soon as we start putting downward pressure through our hands, which is really, really good because it means that we're always going to be bracing, always going to be protecting the wrists and the arms and the shoulder blades. Let's do a couple more. Last one. Now we're going to do some half plank walkouts. So similar thing, just moving back on your mat a little bit so you've got a bit more space at the front. T-zones tight, spines in a neutral position. We're not sagging down and we're not bulging up. Okay, nice and neutral. We take an inhale breath, pushing up through the shoulder blades. On the exhale, we'll start to walk hands out until we're in a half plank position. Reset yourself, push up, inhale breath, exhale as we walk back. So just getting the rotator cuff and the small muscles around the shoulder starting to work now and engage a little bit more. Exhale to walk out. Take an inhale breath. Exhale to walk back in. Keep the arms straight. I want you to be feeling it in the shoulders. Feeling this mostly in the shoulders and in the chest from pushing up. Exhale as we walk the hands out. Inhale as we walk the hands back in. Let's do one more and then we're going to stay out. Now from here, we're going to do those alternate hand reaches. This time the core is going to be working a lot harder. I want you to bring the knees just a little bit closer. This will challenge the core a bit more. Inhale, breath. Exhale, sweeping one hand overhead. Inhale to draw back in, changing sides. Brace that arm each time. Exhale, sweep overhead. Inhale to draw back in. A few more things to think about here. Keeping the core stable. Making sure we're not rocking all the way over to one side to stabilize. So the T-zone has to work hard to keep our body even. Pushing up through the shoulder blades, always pushing up. Really starting to challenge the shoulder blades here. The chest, the triceps, the core. Let's do one more. And walking the hands back in. Now we're just going to give the wrists a little bit of a rest. So if your wrists are sore, give them a little roll. Again, we'll give them some rest. If you feel you need it, you can roll the edge of your mat up. Put the hands on the edge, or you can come onto the fists. But let's see if we can get some strength into them. Again, we don't want to push too much until you feel like you can't use your hands anymore. It's all about balance. So it's finding that point where you can push yourself, where you're in a bit of discomfort, but it's still okay. And to the point where you think, okay, I feel like I might be doing damage. So shake them out. Give them a rest. Excuse me. Final one in 4-point kneeling. We're going to go onto our bellies after that to give the wrists a rest, and then we're coming back up onto the hands. So, next one here we're doing is horse kicks. So this one is technically lower body, but what I want you to focus on is your upper body activation and the rotator or the small muscles in your shoulders working to keep your body stable as we move. So we're going to inhale breath. You bring the knees together into a tripod position, pushing up through the shoulder blades, the angry bulldog. Inhale, float the left leg off the mat. Exhale as we straighten the leg, then lift. Inhale to return. Exhale as we straighten, then lift. 2 separate movements. Inhale to return. Keep pushing up through the shoulder blades. So what will happen now, keep going with that. What will happen now is that we're focusing on our lower body. Our upper body will slowly start to try to give up. So we need to keep thinking, upper body, push up. Strong through the chest, strong through the shoulders. Our core is engaged. So as we exhale, we keep that root to hip connection, making sure we're not hyperextending and letting the belly go. Always working on the best in Pilates, trying to get our body working at its best. Pulling up through the shoulder blades, always making them work. Let's do one more on this leg. So we're starting to try and get the brain to do 2 things at once, which sometimes it doesn't want to do. We'll come back, give the wrist a shake. So we'll give them plenty of rest in this session because we do spend a bit of time on the hands. Back into our 4-point kneeling position, knees are together, strong, pushing up through the upper body. Floating the right knee off the mat this time. Inhale, breath, exhale, extend the leg, then lift. Inhale to return, keep pushing up through the upper body. Now that we've started thinking about the lower body, the upper body will start to try and switch off. So every exhale breath, think ribs to hips, core tight. Every inhale breath, push up through the shoulder blades. Keep working it, keep making it switch on. Don't let it sort of go back into its normal habits of just switching off and relaxing the skeletal system. Let's do 2 more on this side. Keep pushing up shoulder blades, angry bulldog, tensing underneath the armpits. Whilst keeping the core locked on, remember we're only extending from the hip here, not extending from the back. Last one. And rest. Now, if you had everything switched on, your hands should be cramping. Because you're constantly trying to push down into the mat with your fingertips and trying to create that suction cap with your palm, it's kind of like this. So you're kind of trying to go like that with your hands on the mat. So we're strengthening the hands, we're strengthening the forearms. The wrists are going to get stronger because they've got stronger muscles around them. It also really does help with your shoulders because of the way that we're orientated, the way that our arm is orientated underneath the body. All right, so we're going to front line now. And this next part, we're going to be focusing on the upper body. So pretty much anything we do when we're floating the body in this prone position, we're using mid-trap, upper trap a little bit. We're using our shoulders. We're using a little bit of pec. And sometimes we're using our triceps as well, depending on what our arms are doing. So again, this is going to be really good for shoulders. There's a lot of stuff in Pilates that's good for shoulders. If you do have shoulder injuries and have trouble getting your hands all the way up around your head, just don't go quite as close to your head. So go a little bit wider. Again, do everything in your own sort of way, making sure that you're still sticking to the technique. So, first off, we're just going to start with swan prep as our warm-up. So we're tucking the belly up away from the mat, hands in stop sign position. Forehead comes down onto the mat. We relax the shoulder blades completely, let everything switch off. Our lower body is relaxed as well. Inhale, breath, draw the shoulder blades down and back. And we could lift the head a little. As long as we're not feeling it in the lower back. If you feel it in the lower back, then the head stays on the mat. Exhale to lower and relax. Inhale, shoulder blades down and back. Exhale to lower down and relax. Inhale, shoulder blades down and back. Exhale to relax. So now we've done this one a few times, this swan prep, we should start to be feeling that movement through the shoulder blades. We want to start to get some movement in the shoulder blades. Not everybody has much range, but it's definitely something we can work on. A lot of the time we're really tight in the traps, so we don't have that movement down. So this is great to start encouraging the shoulder blades to move away from the ears. Another one here. And relax. And next we're going to go into our freestyle arms. So freestyle arms is going to be really good for our shoulders, our pecs, and our upper back. So hands going to go out in front. Again, if your shoulders don't like this, just go a little bit wider, give them a little bit more room to move. So our hands are going out directly in front. And we're going to inhale, draw the shoulder blades down and back, float the head off the mat first, then the float arms. Lower body stays off. Keep the lower body off. We're going to feel this a little bit in the mid back now, or the lower back. Just a little bit, and it should be in the muscle. We inhale, and we flutter the arms 3 or 4 times. We exhale to flutter the arms 3 or 4 times. So keep breathing. Keep the core switched on. You're going to start feeling this down the back. As long as you're not feeling it in the joint. Really feel it in the shoulder. So initiate this lift with your shoulder. Get the shoulder doing the work. And keep holding here. Now we're going to hold up. Rest the head down if your neck starts to get sore. So you can just rest the head on the mat and keep doing the movement. You won't get as much through the back as well. So if you've got some back twinging, just rest the head down onto the mat. But we're going to go into some circles now. So shoulders, arms are floating off the mat, head's resting or head is lifted, eyes are neutral. We inhale, we exhale, circle the hands all the way back around to the hips, lifting up a little bit in the chest. Let's do 5 circles here. 1, 2, from the shoulder, 3, 4, 5. That's coming straight from the shoulder joints, and my triceps are working hard there. We inhale, sweep the hands back overhead. Exhale, sweep the hands around to the hips. We do 5 circles. 1, cup the hands. 2, 3, 4, 5. Sweep the hands back to the top. Take rest if you need it. Take rest. If you don't, let's go into another one. Sweep the hands around. Lift the chest a little bit more. Cup the hands. And 5 circles from the shoulder joint. 3, 4, 5. Feeling it in the tricep and the shoulder. Come back around once more. And exhale to sweep around. Cup the hands. Let's do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Sweeping back around and down. Okay, so what we did just there, those circles, you should have felt it deep in your shoulder. So that's rotator cuff. Rotator cuff gets injured often because they are small muscles, and they do have a lot of say in the rotation, the movement of the shoulder. They can get injured really easily, and they can get overused if we don't sort of try and activate them every now and then to get them working. So that's a great one. You would have felt that in your rhomboid, so the middle of the shoulder blade, well, where your shoulder blade sort of connects to the spine, your shoulders, your triceps, and a little bit in the chest. So again, not all upper body stuff needs to be big compound movements. We really need to get into those little muscles every now and then. All right, enough talking. We're going to go back into our plank position. Now we've got a few here that are going to be a little bit difficult. So we're going to do a Pilates push-up. We're going to do tricep circles. We're going to do a front plank, a rearward plank, and we're going to do some star. So that's isolation, or using one arm at a time, using the one shoulder and the one arm to stabilize the body, so that we're always working unilaterally, giving everything a chance to strengthen on its own without piggybacking off the strong side when we use both things at the same time. So the first thing we're going to do is the Pilates push-up to get the chest ready for our tricep circles. So the push-up, we've got a couple options. So our setup is the same as before, nice and proud, pushing up through angry bulldog, protecting your property. We can come back into our half plank position. Now with the plank, always thinking ribs to hips, so this is locked in, T-zone tight. So you almost make a little sort of curvy banana through your body, as opposed to everyone thinks that plank should be perfectly straight. But we always want that little bit of pushing up through the shoulder blades, and we want to tuck the hips under slightly so that the core is active. Now, with the Pilates push-up, let's get the hands just a little tiny bit wider than the shoulders. Our elbows go back to 45 degrees. We inhale down for 3. We exhale up for 1. Let me show you. Inhale. Now, we're going to do 4 of these together. If this is too hard on your knees, you can bring the knees in a little bit closer. And so you're just taking a little bit of weight off the body, or elevate the hands on something. So grab a step or whatever you've got around the box or something, and put your hands up a bit higher. That will make it a little bit easier for you. Now, we've got knees. We've also got toes. So you choose what works for you. So we're going to go in, out. That's 1. That's 2, pushing up through the shoulder blades, core's tucking under, making sure this stays switched on and we're not sinking like a sloppy spaghetti through the belly. And let's go for a number 2, in, out. Number 3, in, out. Number 4, in, out. Nice. So, again, very hard to control that movement as we go down. We're taking out the sort of stretch reflex or the bounce at the bottom, and we're really having to control ourselves through the whole push-up. So let's move on now to our tricep circles. We'll give the arms a little bit of a rest. Tricep circles, again, are going to be a little bit harder. Wrists might start to get sore, so rolling up the edge of the mat if we need to. All right, tricep circles. Now, again, we've got 2 variations, on the knees or on the toes. Now, on the knees, we sort of need to be in a tabletop position as opposed to out here. You'll know why in a minute. So, in our sort of 4-point kneeling or tabletop position, pushing up through the shoulder blades, angry bulldog, tensing underneath the armpits, spines neutral, T-zones tight. We inhale to lower the nose towards the ground. We exhale to slide forward. We inhale to push up. We exhale to slide back. So we're drawing a rectangle with our nose. We inhale down, exhale forward, inhale up, exhale back. That's 2. We inhale nose down, exhale, sweep forward, inhale nose up, exhale, sweep back. Now you can do this on your toes, but I just think we should all stay on our knees for now while we're still sort of figuring out all of our technique points. Inhale as you sweep up, so T-zone tight. Inhale, sweep the nose down. Exhale, sweep forward. Inhale, sweep up. Exhale, sweep back. So really feeling this in the triceps now. Let's do one more. Inhale to go down. Exhale forward. Inhale up. Exhale back. Nice work. You can do a few more of those if you want while I'm rambling, setting up for the next one, if you really want more of a challenge through the arms. But we are going to go into front controls, back controls, so it's like a reverse plank, just to mix it up a little bit with our positioning, then we'll go into the front plank. So for this one, as you know, planks will use all your core. So a front plank, when we're planking this way, we're using predominantly front body. This one, we're going to be using predominantly back body, and we don't do it very much, and it's awesome, I reckon. It's a really good plank to do. So we've got some options here, and we've got some variations. Hands wider than shoulders just a little bit, and fingers pointed outwards. So that's generally the most comfortable position. If you want to challenge in the wrists, you can point the fingertips forward. So if you're trying to gain mobility in your wrists for handstands and all that kind of stuff, you can do it this way. I'll leave it completely up to you. You can do it on the fist as well if your wrists are giving you some trouble. Now, like I said, hands just a little bit wider than shoulders and a little bit behind your shoulders in terms of that way. So a little bit behind your body. We've got a couple variations. So our first one, we have our knees bent. We inhale, T-zone, exhale, push the body up into sort of like an extended reverse tabletop. This is version number 1. We've got version number 2. Our legs are straight. We take an inhale, breath, exhale. Bring the hips up into what looks like a traditional plank. And then our third option is to do leg lifts. Now the third one is really quite tough because you're doing a lot of work in that one stabilising leg, so I'll leave it up to you. Now we'll set up and we're going to go into the plank for 10 breaths in your own time, 10 of your own breaths. So inhale, exhale is 1 breath. Let's set ourselves up, find the version or the level that works for you, play around, see what you like. You can keep legs straight and just go not as high. Completely up to you. With the shoulder blades, keep them active and strong. So pushing that shoulder blade, the chest up to the ceiling. So don't just sink down here. So it's taking the upper body out of it. Push up, strong. Remember, angry bulldog, tensing underneath the armpits. And we're going to go up in 3, 2, 1. Inhale, T-zone, exhale, up into our plank. Next stays neutral, so eyes just looking ahead. On the inhale, think shoulder blades up, so pushing up through the shoulder blades. Keeping the shoulders away from the ears so we're not hunching. On the exhale, think ribs to hips, squeeze the glutes and the hamstrings. Keep your body up nice and straight. We should go up to about 5 breaths. Keep challenging the hips, body's up nice and straight. Last one here. And coming down. Great work. My wrists felt that. So we're going to give them another rest here while we talk through the next one, which is our front plank. Now, if your wrists are really sore, you can again go to the edge, go on the fists, or you can come down the forearms for this one. But if we are in the forearms, I want the hands flat on the mat. So front planks, we're going to do 10 breaths in our front plank. In our own time again, I'll go through the setup. We're going to do it 3 times through. So I'm just going to leave this for you to do in your own time. So I'll set you up. I'll demonstrate them as well so you have an idea of time and what we're up to. So wrists below shoulders, angry bulldog, tensing under the armpits, find your position. You can start here and just focus on the upper body, get it strong, keep the core tight, T-zone on, spine neutral. You can come out here, you can come out here, which is a bit harder again, or you can come up into the toes. So let's set ourselves up, get yourself ready for what you need to do. Make sure if you do come to the toes, you're not losing the T-zone, it's starting to bulge and slip out through the belly and just sort of letting the RA in the middle take over. So we want the TA on as well. So let's go. Plank number 1 in your own time, 10 breaths. And up we go. Inhale, push up through the shoulder blades. Exhale, think ribs to hips, tucking under slightly in the hips. Always pushing up through shoulder blades. Don't let them chicken wing. I think this is 9. And 10, drop the knees, toes together, extended child pose. Just chill here for a bit. That's our first plank. We're going to do another one after that. Alright, coming into our second plank. Wrists below shoulders, spider fingers, keep pushing the hands into the mat. Tense under the armpits, push up through the shoulder blades, find your position. Inhale, breath, T-zone. Exhale, pushing up to plank. Inhale, exhale, that's 1. Count to 10. Pushing up through the shoulder blades on the inhale. Think ribs to hips. Slight tuck under in the pelvic area on the exhales. Bad cueing. Keep the eyes nice and neutral as well. So the eyes looking between the fingers, the head's not looking up. And that's 10, knees drop, toes together. Folding back into our extended child. Relaxing here for our last and final plank. And we're going to finish off on our star. So that's going to be challenging for one arm at a time. Also for the core. And then we'll be done. Alright, last one. Here we go. Third, final plank. 10 breaths, pushing up through the shoulder blades, wrists below the shoulders, fingers pushing down into the mat, suction capping the palm. Tense under the armpits, find your foot or knee position, and let's go up into plank. Inhale, T-zone. Exhale, pushing up through the shoulder blades. Keep pushing. Keep holding that upper body as long as we can. Tucking the hips under. That's 8 for knee. That's breath 9. And that's breath 10. Down to the knees, sinking back. Shake out the wrists. Okay, our very, very last exercise today is star. So for this one, if your wrists are really quite sore, give them a break. Come up onto the fist. We're only going to do a couple either side. So to set ourselves up, we want the wrist directly below the shoulder or a little bit in front. And we want to have our feet sort of offset. So our top leg, our foot's in front, and our bottom leg foot is behind. We're going to play with the positioning as we go through it. Our other hand is just here, we're going to use it in the movement. So we're going to take an inhale breath, set the T-zone. On the exhale, we push the hips up, and our hand comes up above the body. We inhale, hold. We exhale, push the hips higher. We inhale back to central, back to a neutral position. We exhale to lower. Now, this shoulder really needs to be working hard so that we're not hunching and sitting around the ear. So pushing down and back through that shoulder. Get the shoulder blade engaged. That's one. We're going to do another one here. Inhale, T-zone. Exhale, pushing up to our straight line. Inhale, hold. Exhale, hips high. Use this oblique here to make it work hard. Inhale, back to neutral. Exhale to lower down. Let's change sides. Again, you can do more in your own time. You can, if you feel like this is a really good exercise for you, go nuts, do 5 or 6. Okay, top leg foot is in front, bottom leg foot is behind. Shoulder and arm are relatively aligned. Shoulder blades pulling down away from the ears. Inhale, T-zone. Exhale, pushing up into that straight line. Inhale, hold. Exhale, squeeze hips high. Here in the oblique. Inhale, back to a central or straight line. Exhale to lower. Let's go straight away. Shoulder away from the ear. Inhale, T-zone. Exhale, pressing up to straight line. Inhale, hold. Exhale, squeeze the oblique hips high. Inhale, back to straight. Exhale, lower. Whew. Well done. That is your Pilates for upper body finished. As I said, we're going to go through a really good upper body stretch now. So, to open up through the chest, this is probably the best stretch you can do to open up through the chest. We're going to lie on our belly. We're going to put one hand out to 45 degrees or 2 o'clock on the rocket clock. So think about where the 2 is on a clock. We want to get the shoulder of this arm down so it's touching the mat or the ground. Our left hand is pushing away like you're about to do a push-up. And we're going to inhale, exhale, push that hand away and open up through the chest. So really feel this one opening up through the chest and the front of the shoulder. What you can do is take this leg and put it over the body. If you feel like you want to open up through the spine as well for a bit of rotation, and that sort of intensifies the stretch. And remember, keep breathing. And coming out of that stretch, slowly peeling. If you've got a sore back, don't do the leg thing because that might make it worse. Now this hand, we're going to roll forward. So think we're rolling over the thumb and forward to the back of the hand is on the ground and the palm is facing towards the ceiling. Again, the shoulder comes in contact with the ground or the mat. And we push away with the opposite arm into our stretch. Making sure the shoulder stays on the ground. So this is going to change the stretch into the bicep. And slowly peeling out of that one. Let's go to the other arm now. So other arm comes out to 45 degrees or 11 o'clock on the clock. Shoulder rolls down so it's touching the mat. Front of the shoulder is touching the mat. Our other hand is pushing up away from the ground and twisting us into the stretch. Now we can just go to here. If you're feeling a stretch, just keep holding. But if you want to intensify or you want to add a rotation twist as well or a rotation stretch, you can bring the leg over the body. And breathe, always breathing, relaxing everything that you don't need to be using. And slowly peel out of that one. And rolling over the thumb, over the thumb, so we come forward. Again, shoulder touches the ground. We push away with the opposite hand. Use that twist if you need to. Feel the stretch change into the bicep. And slowly peeling out of that one again. And let's help ourselves up. Now we're going to do our triceps and our upper trap, which is this muscle here. Tricep is this muscle here. All right, so our tricep is going to come, not our tricep, our hand is going to come middle of the upper back. Okay, right or left, it doesn't matter. Grab onto the elbow with the other hand. Try and get the elbow directly above your shoulder. So a straight line from your elbow down to your armpit. Now once you've got that there and you can feel the stretch behind your arm or in this part here, turn your head away from the stretching arm. Should switch the stretch on in the upper trap, the muscle just above your shoulder. And breathing again, remember, always breathing, relaxing, try not to hold your breath in stretching. What that does is tells your body that you're in stress generally, and it won't accept the stretch. It won't let your body really take in as much of the stretch as it can. So always breathing and staying relaxed. And slowly uncoiling from that stretch. And let's go. Other arm, opposite arm, reaches to the middle of the top of the back. We grab onto that elbow, try and get the elbow above the armpit. Get the stretch there, so you're feeling the stretch here in the tricep. Once you've got that, you can then turn the head away and feel it through the neck and the upper trap. This is a really nice one to release the neck muscles a little bit, as well as the tricep. Keep breathing, relaxing the body as much as you can around the stretch. And release. Let's do a little gentle stretch for the wrists. So we're going to grab onto the hands, bring the arm out straight, and we're just going to pull down, just a little gentle pull down the wrist. So we're sort of countering this position that we've been in for most of the session. We're countering that with the stretch here. So stretching out through the extensors of the wrist. And we'll change sides. So elbows bent, grabbing the hand, then we straighten the arm and then pull down until we've got that point where we can feel a stretch. Again, we don't want to like break our arms here, we're just feeling for that gentle stretch. And let's finish on my favourite armchair because it just feels so nice, and we'll open up between the shoulder blades. So knees together, heels together. Grab the elbows underneath the legs, give yourself a nice hug. Now tuck the hips under, imagine someone's pulling the middle of your back towards the wall behind you. Okay, your head will come down and relax, let your shoulder blades fall apart, let your shoulder blades completely relax and undo. And I feel this in the lower back, the extensors of the spine and in the middle of the shoulder blades. Keep breathing. And slowly peeling out. All right, so that is Pilates upper body session done. Again, if you've tuned in or if you've watched my video, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Like I said, you know, I've chosen the best time to start a small business in the fitness industry, but I'm going to try and keep it alive over the internet, the interweb. So please do show your support if you are enjoying my videos. I'm going to take a little break over the weekend from filming, and I'm going to come back next week. And what I've got in store for you is Pilates for lower body. We're going to do some sun salutations, so Surya Namaskar, a bit of yoga. This is what I've learned in my yoga course so far. So each time I learn something in my yoga course, I'll introduce it on my page and do a quick little session for you. We're going to do a release and restore. So we're going to do a really good stretch session, like minimum 40 minutes. Again, you can come in when you want to and come out when you want to and save it for later, or do a few and come back. But I really think that it's important to break the week up of exercise with a really decent rest and recovery restore session. So we'll do that. And we're going to do Pilates for lower body. So we're going to focus really towards hamstrings, glutes, always abs, because you can't do Pilates at our core. But yeah, so that's what I've got in store for you next week. Please, yeah, let me know how you like it if you do, and if you're watching, let me know. And Thanks a lot.